Hey everybody, it's Jamie. So in reference to de-escalating those who are suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts, I think the most important thing is to be aware of the possibilities and the risks, and to always be safe. As law enforcement officers in different capacities, it's our responsibility to take care of others, but we do have to take care of ourselves as well. Maintaining a safe distance from the person is important, especially upon arrival, because you're unaware of what is going on completely in that situation. For me, I believe the first thing I would do is introduce myself. I'd want to quickly assess the area and make sure that there are no visible weapons in sight, and just looking for anything that could cause harm to myself or to the person that we are dealing with currently. I would attempt to build a quick rapport. It doesn't have to take long. Introducing myself and just giving off a good vibe initially, I think, goes a long way with people. I would then ask if they wanted to tell me how they were feeling, or try to get the conversation started. Active listening is extremely important when dealing with people who are depressed or who are having suicidal thoughts. We have to validate their feelings, validate their emotions. A lot of times people who are suffering from this have heard all too many times, like, oh, you'll be fine, or you'll get over it, or, famous, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. And frankly, when you're going through depression and you're in a suicidal state, those are the last things you want to hear. So obviously refrain from those. Using active listening is kind of like I use the term like a regurgitation. So if he's saying, I'm really sad and I just don't know what to do anymore, you kind of have to play it back. So what I hear you're saying is that you're feeling very sad right now and you don't think that you have any options. And at that point, if you're trained and if you know the right answers, and you can tell them what the options possibly are. Be empathetic. Avoid discussing personal experiences. I know that's hard for a lot of people because we tend to want to relate to people when they're feeling sad, but I feel like sometimes that takes away from what they're feeling, and we're not allowing them to express themselves. So just try to avoid saying things like, oh, I know how you feel, or that happens to me too. You don't want to take away from them, and where they feel like you are essentially dumbing down what they're going through by saying, oh, I know exactly what you're going through. Staying calm is very important. If someone sees you upset or sees you feeling overwhelmed, I think it's really easy to follow suit. I worked in psychiatry for 8.5 years. I have talked down quite a few suicidal patients over the phone, and sometimes in the office. It's not fun. My coworkers would always joke around and they would say that I was built for that, because in the midst of it, I knew exactly what to say, and I kept my calm, kept calm, and I kept my cool, and I was very level-headed, and I was able to do the things that I'm telling you guys to do and not do the things. And I would, every time I'd have to have these conversations, and I would stay on the phone until law enforcement got to the person, and I would hang up the phone and cry like a baby. And that's my experience with it. It's tough to hold someone's life in your hand. It really is. And to feel like you were the one thing in between life or death for these people, essentially. So that was my little short story. But in the state of Connecticut, in the event that someone is deemed a threat to themselves or others by police, they can be involuntarily committed to a psychiatric facility. Normally, they're placed on what's called a 72-hour hold. This just gives them time to calm down, like in a safe environment. And in most cases, they're able to get medicated just to get, things under control for at least the time being. And then they leave with usually a referral or to follow up with their mental health provider. Thank you.